Today, we explore Chinatown with Brandi Robinson, a rising star in the boxing world, making waves out of the renowned Rick Ramos gym in Chicago. Originally from Sauk Village, Illinois, Brandi stepped into the professional ring for the first time in October of 2022, and now she's gearing up for her fourth fight 2 years later on November 27th. From overcoming personal challenges to navigating a male-dominated sport, Brandi's journey is one of resilience, empowerment, and cultural connection. Her story sticks out and truly connects to us in Vital Chinatown. Let's discover her story and what drives her both in and out of the ring. What's up, Brandi?
What's good, Vital?
How you doing? Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
We got a few hours before the store opens, so we'll circle back. But you ready for our walk first?
Let's go.
All right, let's do it. So, as you know, welcome to Chicago's Chinatown, which is quite familiar to you from what I know about you. But I just want to get us started off because I did get to give our audience a little bit of a background on you. But tell us a little bit more about yourself. So before we dive in today, Vital Chinatown can really know who Brandi Robinson is, right? Maybe a little bit about your career and some things you want to highlight.
Okay. I'm a professional boxer out of Chicago. I box out of Rick Ramos Boxing Gym, and I'm currently 3-0 in the boxing world. But before that, I used to do karate, sport karate. I started that at the age of 7, all the way up until like 2020. I was doing karate, trying to prepare for the 2020 Olympics. Unfortunately, you know, COVID hit, and all of our like Olympic qualifications just stopped. Everything stopped. So I just decided to move back home. I was living in Hawaii for 7 years, training there and going competing all over. And I just decided to move back home. Didn't want to stop combat sports, so I started boxing, looked up boxing gyms. Rick Ramos' gym popped up, took one visit, and been there ever since.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, no, I've been watching your journey, especially as you've been with Rick Ramos, and it's quite inspiring. So I know today in today's conversation, we're gonna learn more about that, right?
For sure.
Do you have any larger highlights of your career that you want our audience to know about?
As far as boxing, like I said, I'm just starting out. I'm only 3-0. If I have to highlight something, it would be my first fight because that was the first professional boxing fight, and I got a stoppage, which is like the thing to get in boxing. Like you stop your opponent, like the referee stops the fight. Yeah. So that was my very first fight, and I was able to stop her. So
awesome, awesome. Yeah, that's definitely a huge highlight. Okay, well, we're just gonna dive right in, okay, as we walk in today. As you already know, Vital Chinatown, the reason why we're doing this podcast in many ways is to meet our mission, to break historical divides, right? Any way we can do something productive to our community, your community, all the communities of Chicago in this world, we're doing it, right?
Right.
And so when we saw your story, your mission, and the reason why we really wanted to sponsor you is because you represent our mission in many ways. Okay, so how do you balance your identity as a woman in a predominantly male industry when it comes to boxing? Am I right in saying that?
That's a good question. Like, so for me, like as an individual, I just try to give my all in everything that I do. I'm one of the only females in the gym right now as one of Rick Ramos's fighters. So I just try to make sure I'm doing everything faster than the guys, like on top of all my stuff, all of our training. I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing at least what they're doing or better, so that I can put myself in a position to be seen as an equal in the sport. So I'm just always working hard, always giving it my all so that nothing can be taken away from me just because of my gender.
For sure, for sure. I mean, it sounds like because it's a predominantly male industry, there's certain barriers that you have to face, such as I have to work harder, I have to do this. Yep. Like, what are some of the challenges, you know, as you're doing this to fight and push through these barriers that you've had to face that you can really focus on right now?
Just like, so the aspect of the power, like as far as how strong I punch, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm at my capacity with that, like doing everything as far as the workout to continue to build and hone in my power so that when I do hit, like I spar all guys, like I don't have female partners, like there's all my sparring is the boys, so the guys, I'm trying to keep up with them. I'm trying to let them know, like, I'm here to stay too. Like, I can punch hard too, even though, you know, like, technically guys are supposed to hit harder than girls. Like, I'm trying to make sure that they feel my power. So that's where I'm at in the gym.
Yeah. Here, let's cross over into the square. But that really makes me think, like, every day you're breaking historical divides, right? Every day you have to make a different point to this, the male audience, and even be like, I'll be in the ring with you so you understand that there's not this divide between our genders in this sport, right? I think that's really powerful in many ways. Has anyone kind of
ever seen that and been able to communicate that to you? Like, yo, Brandi, you really could motivate me because of who you are in this industry.
Not so much right now. At least no one has like come up to me and like verbally said that to me. You never know what people are thinking like on social media, like people who follow me or young girls who might see me. It hasn't been verbally expressed to me, but I won't say it hasn't happened. I just don't know. I'm just not aware of it.
Right. Here, let's cross the street. Oh, that's really cool. And the reason why I asked that intentionally, right, is because I think you're doing a lot for the culture, whether it's boxing or just youth, right, and sports and athleticism. I think you're doing a lot for the culture that you don't even know about because of your identity, because of who you are in boxing and whatnot, right? So that being said, boxing, you know, when I was doing my research and studying up on you, often it's seen as a sport of resilience, am I right?
100%.
Grit and overcoming adversity. How does your personal journey in boxing connect to the idea of breaking historical divides, right? I think we spoke about it a little bit, but if I ask you intentionally, what about your personal journey do you feel like you're doing to break historical divides?
Well, I mean, I just feel like being a female in the sport, and boxing is a business, so you just have to make sure that you have the right team, have the right management, have the right coach to make sure that you're not getting like screwed over on the business side. It's always like you got to always be one step ahead of the game in boxing and in life. Like you never want to get caught slipping. So I'm just making sure that everything is sharp as far as the training and as far as the business aspect. My coach makes sure I know what contracts are, what the fine lines are between contracts, and it's like if you have a good team, then you should be fine as far as business. So I think it's just always having to stay a step ahead of people who might try to get over on you just by it being the business of boxing being the way it is.
Do you feel like being a woman in this industry, people try to get one over on you more so than, I don't know, the male fighter?
Yeah, if you allow them to, you could get an offer on a big card just because of how you look physically, and they might read more into that than what it is. Like it's strictly business, but the promoter or someone might try to like read into it with different intentions. So it's you always looking behind your shoulder. You always making sure that it's strictly business and nothing more like for stuff like that.
I like that. I like that because it's like I could see how the society is really shaping how to view a man versus a woman in this sport, right? And how certain managers and contract creators might approach you differently because you are a woman. So I think what you're saying in many ways is like the way you're breaking historical divides is empowering yourself, right? To be able to really attack that and be wise on it, right? So I ask you this. We just said that you have some way of influencing the people following you, the youth that we might not even know about.
Right.
And at the same time, you're empowering yourself to be able to break these historical divides, make sure you're not being taken advantage of.
Correct.
As you keep growing in your career, as you enter your fourth professional fight, and beyond that, right? How do you think you will continue to break historical divides on a different level? Because we're sponsoring you for a reason, right? We know this fourth fight is going to take you to the next level, right? So from your perspective, what do you think?
So to piggyback off what you just said, like I do believe that going into this fourth fight, this is like the end all of or be all of my career. Like I have to get past this girl in order to get those big calls or get an opportunity on a bigger show.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking forward to that, and I feel like if that does happen, I could be on the next big show. And so
100%. I think naturally you're setting an example to break those historical divides. But when you have that platform, when you have that attention, I'm so confident that you will continue to make that big impact. You might be the one person at the top or whatever level of boxing you are at to be able to see, hey, the up and coming boxers. And I'm not only going to pay attention to this demographic because I understand where I came from.
Right.
Is that safe to say?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
And I'm excited for where that journey takes you, right? For sure. So the way I really look at boxing, as we were talking about, is very inclusive, right? So I think we talked a lot about your individual journey and where you wanted to go. But if we were to expand boxing and think about just how it brings in all different people from all different backgrounds, right? Whether it's a match over here, or the different countries that people are representing, right? How does that inclusion fit with you, or how have you kind of really internalized all that in terms of all the different opportunities you've had to interact with different communities?
So like as far as me individually and like seeing different cultures from the sport, at the point of my career in boxing, I'm not quite there yet. I've been to maybe a few places, that different countries to see different cultures, but when I was still doing karate, like I've been all over the world, many different countries, and I seen how it brings everybody together from different places. I seen how different cultures, how they live over in China, how they live in Abu Dhabi, how they live over in considered third world countries, which is like South America. I've been all over Argentina, Peru, so I've been able to see how different teams interact with each other as well as not just Americans. So that's one thing that I can say that I saw how combat sports brings like different cultures together.
I like that. I like that you have that experience, right? Like boxing, you're really entering and about to get that platform for it to make you worldwide, right? In all these different places. But from your experience in karate, you see how just combat sports in general bring people together, right? Yeah. Has there been any like big experience in your background of karate where you're like, that really sticks out to me when we're talking about inclusion, when we're talking about coming together, or the opposite, right? Because I know you went to different countries and the outlook might be a little bit different. I don't know.
So like when I was in Shanghai, for example, we were walking kind of similar, like through Chinatown, but it was in Shanghai. Yeah. And me and another teammate, we were being the only two African-American females on the team at that time. A lot of the people from Shanghai that live there, they're from there. They were like shocked to see us. They were like looking, taking pictures, and it was a different experience for me. Like I couldn't understand why they were so like shocked, but they don't see, they haven't seen like African-American women like in China like that. So it was just an eye-opening experience for me, and I take all of them like with stride, and it just teaches me like this obviously way more to the world than just Chicago. And so I'm grateful and appreciative of all the countries and cultures and stuff that I've gotten to see, like how they interact with each other.
For sure. So you kind of took that as like a positive experience, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I can see why a lot of people would take that as a negative experience though, right? Like, what makes me so different from everybody else, but that is maybe a cultural thing that we might not understand on this side. We're way more diverse. What you said really resonated with me because I think that's a lot of what's happening right now in Chinatown because of Vital Chinatown. It brings a lot of different people here, and even though Chicago is more diverse than Shanghai, I would assume, you still get those same vibes, right? You still have people that have been so sheltered. It's like, whoa, I've never seen someone like you, and I'm a little worried. I might not pull out the camera to record you, but I'm going to do different things, right? And so whether you internalize that as good as bad, that's the whole point of all of this, right? Like, how can we continue to expose each other to our cultures and do something great, right? So that's truly the connection of your combat sports and me and this clothing brand, right? And what we're doing in the town. So I think that's fantastic. I think about karate too, specifically, like in the Asian culture, historically speaking, right, it has brought together different Asian communities. I think there's a lot of historical divides within the Asian community, right?
I've seen it like actually in karate, like the different teams, Japan and China, they don't, like people might not think of, but they do not interact like the most friendly towards each other. Like even during competition, you could just see the coaches, how they don't interact with the other Asian teams. Like it's very different to see, but I've picked up on that, and I've seen a lot of that in the sport karate world where it's not friendly, like from within the Asian culture.
You see, that's like on a professional level, and you're still seeing that, right? So in the day-to-day, understand that on top of the different community of Chicago's that this Asian community might go against, within the Asian community, there's also a lot of head-to-head bumping, right? So really that is all a part of the work of what we're doing today, right? But all that to say, it's all based in history, right? So you have your own way of breaking historical divides, and so do I. Why do certain Asian communities not mess with others? It's because of some big historic thing that happened, which was never great, right? But that being said, right, that brings us to the town we're in, Chinatown. I think we've made a lot of connections, but I'm curious of what this town means to you, right? Because you're here for a reason, and we met each other through this town, right? So let's get a little bit more grounded in where we're at. What does Chinatown mean to you, especially in Chicago?
Yeah, so if I'm gonna be honest, Chinatown, like I come here like through Chinatown to come shop at Vital. That's my go-to, and also the food here. Like I love Asian food. I've always loved Asian food. Even when I was in Hawaii, like I would eat Asian food if I could every day. So like I just feel like that's what I like to do. That's what I like to eat, and like this place is the mecca of Asian food. So, and there's all cultures walking you. If you go back over to where we were just at, is everybody, all walks of life there, and the food and the culture are bringing them together. Tourists come here from other countries just to go visit Chinatown. So it's like that's what brings different cultures to this one spot.
I like that. You connect to it personally, but you also see the impact it could have
Yeah.
on bringing people together. And thank you for that shout out. You know, we like to believe that by opening up this new business, this new thing that does draw in different communities, is continuing to do what you just said about where the food, what the food's doing, right?
Yeah.
Let's get past this safely first. Really cool, really cool. So in your journey, right? Like we spoke a little bit about the history of the Asian culture and even what is day to day in Chinatown, right? So how does your journey in any type of way relate to the struggles of this town, right? Like where Asian communities bump heads with each other, where they bump heads with other communities. Where do you see the connection for your personal journey and Chinatown? And what it's
You mean in my personal journey, as far as like boxing, or just in general? Like,
in general, I think we spoke a lot about boxing, right? So if it extends beyond that, it'd be great for our audience to know.
like, to be honest, I don't like, as far as Chinatown, Chicago, like I haven't felt any certain vibes when I go walking through Chinatown. I don't feel like I'm not supposed to be there versus when I go out or when I've been to other countries, I get those looks and stares. But here, like, it just feels like I'm home, even in a different like neighborhood, different culture. I'm not from Chinatown. I don't live over in this area, but I still feel welcome. Like I feel like my business is welcome, and I should be able to come patronize other other cultures, other stores without like feeling a certain way. So I don't feel like I bumped heads as far as home, but out definitely abroad. I 100% feel like sometimes it makes me feel like I don't belong there when I go to other countries. So I could just say that.
Well, that's encouraging. That's encouraging. That makes me feel like the work we're doing has some type of impact. And naturally, that what you're saying should exist also, right? But as we keep chipping away at it, I think it'll feel more and more inviting, more and more community, no matter your color, no matter where you come from. Outside of the meter maids, they are pretty aggressive. They're not the most inviting. Just know that. But awesome. Well, we are we're going to go down Wentworth as we circle back to our store, which is one of the main avenues of Chicago Chinatown, in case you didn't know. So that being said, right, as we start wrapping up, I really want to give you the platform to kind of speak to our audience, because I think you've informed us a lot already in terms of like what you do, what we do, and how we're going to continue to hopefully chip away at those divides, right? What is something that you want to tell your audience, our audience, to keep them motivated, whether that's for the young girl at home watching you on Instagram, or whether that's the person doubting you, right? What is something you want the world to know about you and what you're doing?
So I just want to say that if it's something that you want to do, if it's a dream that you have, or that you had a goal, no matter what the obstacles or barriers might be, just stay consistent every day. Chip away at the goal, chip away at the task. Stay consistent. I've been wanting to be a world champion since 2014 in karate. Like when I went to Bremen, Germany for the world championships and I fell short. That's been my goal since 2014. And no matter what sport, whether it's karate or boxing, I'm going to get that world championship or die trying. Like that's my goal, and that's been my goal since then. So I just want to tell all the girls, or males, females, whoever it is, if you have a goal, stick with it. Be consistent, and you'll get there eventually.
I think that's such an impactful message because often I think, you know, as an entrepreneur or as an influencer, a model, or even the person working a construction job, you want something to blow up, right? And just really take you to the next level. And maybe that's not the truth. Maybe that's not the reality.
Yeah.
There's ups and downs, yeah?
There is, yeah. You just got to stay consistent, know what you want. Could take time. Everything is not going to come quickly. Like I said, I've been at this since 2014. I've been sacrificing. Like my family knows how much I sacrifice is to the gym, to work, home. Like it's strict, but that's what I'm willing to sacrifice to get that goal. Because when I get that title, that world title, all of it's going to be worth it. So everybody that's like, oh, she's standoffish, she doesn't go out, none of that matters to me. So as long as I'm able to reach that goal, then that's when it comes full circle.
100%. And I appreciate that, even on a personal level, because I think even in the moment of the day, I have to I needed to hear that. You know, I need to hear the consistency, because even within the boutique that's new, shiny, and attractive to so many communities, there's up and downs, right? So thank you for that powerful message. And by saying what you said, I think you're continuing to break historical divides, you know, because that's just what it takes to excel in this world, right?
Yeah.
All right. I do have a special surprise for you, all right?
Okay, I like surprises.
Yeah, no, just a little token of appreciation for everything you are, not only to our business and our brand and the relationship we built, but also how impactful you are in this community. There's a reason why we sponsored you, right? So thank you for all of that. What would you say, you know, just in closing, right? Because I think what you just said before is very motivating. What would you say to the person who is really not seeing that message right now, right? That's really struggling in their current position, and they're just going through it.
I mean, like, just reevaluate your goals, reevaluate what you want. Like, you have to know exactly what you want in order to get on that path towards reaching the goal. So sit down, like, write things out. Like, this is what I want to do. Make sure it's what you want to do, and just go after it. Like I said, you have to be resilient in what you're trying to do. Everything's not just going to be handed to you or laid right in front of you. You have to create the opportunities. You have to hustle, wake up early, stay late. Like, all those things make a difference. So you just got to stick with it, grind it out, and eventually you're going to reach your goal. So.
And it's all based on routine, right? That consistency you were talking about. I love that.
Early mornings, late nights, it is what it is. Just get it done.
Yeah. Well, Brandi, I appreciate you so much for all the gems you've dropped on us. Really, other than what we've spoken about, I think we should just enjoy the rest of Chinatown, really sinking in the vibes of everything of our conversation as we make our way back, so I could give you that little token of our appreciation.
Sounds good.
All right. But I do want to say, guys, definitely stay posted with us. November 27th is your next fourth professional fight, right? And I think considering our conversation today, a lot of our audience is going to want to keep up with you, right? Sure. So this is going to be a great journey for us, okay? What you got going on for the rest of the day, though?
I have to actually got to go grocery shopping.
Okay, yeah.
Do that.
I forgot you were human for a second. You were a superhero to me this whole
meal
time.
Prep for the week, you know, making sure my meals are prepped for the week coming up.
Right.
And then I have a big event to go to that I'm excited and proud to go to. Like, my coaches, Rick Ramos is getting inducted into the Illinois Boxing Coaching Hall of Fame tonight. So
snap.
Yeah, so we're gonna go support. Me and my teammates are gonna go out and see him get his flowers while he can still enjoy his flowers like this. So I'm pumped to go to that.
Yeah, you should be
inspiring.
proud.
So
just
to be under his stable, to be under somebody's stable that's like that, like, I'm grateful just to be one of his athletes. So.
100%, and know that you were a part of that journey too, right?
Yeah.
That your first, your second, your third professional fight, that all brought some attention in many ways, right? And what I would assume, at least.
Yeah, so he's really done a lot in this sport, so it's dope that they are actually recognizing him and celebrating him in that aspect.
For sure, for sure. All right, we are getting there. Let's hope the store is open up by now.
Sure. You got any plans for the rest of the day?
Run the store, baby. That's it. Make
you guys
some
are open
sales.
till 7, right?
Continue to break historical divides, which is something we do every day, just when people walk in. I know I keep saying it, but it's like, because we have to constantly remind ourselves that is the work, right? Even if I sell a pair of Jordans or Yeezys, or I'm selling our own clothing brand, we always put a little bit of our mission into it. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And we make sure people understand, whoever you are, wherever you come from, we're going to make you feel amazing because you belong here, you know?
Sure.
All right.
It's getting a little cold out here, I feel like.
Yep, perfect timing. So, let's get the store opened up. Isn't that crazy? Like, what happened, and then we saw the meter maids over there. Not cool.
I was looking at that. I was like, that's probably why I got that.
Brandi got a ticket in the first 30 seconds of parking. I had to take it out on the meter maids on this podcast.
Looks like I got.
There's no way.
Another one.
There's no way. You have parking.
I know.
You paid for parking.
I did. Looks like it's another one on my car.
You can fight it.
That's crazy.
All right, Brandi. So as you know, we appreciate you not only outside of our daily interactions, but for having this conversation with us. So for a small token of our appreciation, I want to give you one of our Vital tote bags. Not only does it hold our main design, but a really strong message, which really speaks to us today and what we've talked about, where the strong come together to do something great.
For sure.
And I think that's quite consistent with everything you're doing in your industry. Right?
Yes, I definitely agree with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right.
Appreciate it.
And good luck on everything in your fight. We'll be there by
sure.
by your side, making sure you get that motivation as well.
Thank you. Appreciate you.